All right, good morning everybody, or I guess good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about 7.6, natural log. Natural log, usually we write it as ln. You'll see it on your calculator on the left hand side. And in all of our stuff today, it is a natural log, which means that it follows all log properties. The only one that is slightly different is, remember that if we had log base b of b, that equals 1. When we're referring to the natural log, if I have the natural log of e, that equals 1. All right, so in example number 1, let's talk about those properties. I want you to write the expression as a single natural log. So for example, if I had the natural log of 4 plus the natural log of 3, in the log world when we add, we're really multiplying. So this is the natural log of 4 times 3, or the natural log of 12. To add another one in here, how about if I had 2 natural log x minus 3 natural log y? In the log world, this number in front, remember the coefficient is actually the exponent on each one of these. So we can rewrite this to start with as the natural log of x to the second minus the natural log of y to the third. And in the log world, when we subtract, we really divide. So we have the natural log of x squared divided by y to the third. All right, how about the natural log of x plus 1/2 the natural log of y minus 3 natural log z? All right, so first of all, first thing we do is always move that coefficient. We have a 1/2 here that becomes our exponent, and we have a 3 here that becomes our exponent. So we have the natural log of x plus the natural log of y to the 1/2 minus the natural log of z to the third. All right, so now we can put these together. We're going to write this natural log one time. When we are adding, we're really multiplying. So I have x times y to the 1/2, or what's another way we can write to the 1/2 exponent? That's the same as the square root of y. And then divided by, because of this minus, z to the third. All right. So this is the style or the type of problem you're going to be solving in 12 through 18. Let's see one last one in here. Let's say I have the natural log of 2 minus 4 natural log 2. Well, there's a couple different ways to think about this. This is actually saying I have 1 natural log 2 minus 4 natural log 2. Or we could say this is negative 3 natural logs of 2. And then we can take this beautiful coefficient and make it its exponent. So we would have the natural log of 2 to the negative 3. And we all know that a negative exponent drops that to the bottom. So we get the natural log of 1 over 2 to the third, or 8. Option number 2 is we can rewrite this, taking this exponent, or this coefficient, to the 2. We can say we have the natural log of 2 minus the natural log of 2 to the 4th. 2 to the 4th is the same as 16, so I have the natural log of 2 minus the natural log of 16. Then in the log world, when we subtract, we really divide. So we have the natural log of 2 over 16, which simplifies to the natural log of 1/8. Clean that up a little bit. All right, so moving on. Let's talk about solving equations. that contain a natural log. All right, here's the steps I want you to think about. 1, I want you to isolate or get the natural log term by itself. Step 2, use E as a base to each side. Step 3, evaluate the right. And then step 4, I want you to solve for x. All right, so here's our example number 2. I'm simply going to ask you to solve using these steps. This is what you are doing for 20 through 28 today. All right, so if I give you something that looks like this, we have the natural log of 2x equals 3. Well, first of all, the natural log term is already by itself. It's not being multiplied by anything. It's not having anything added to it. So then we can go to step 2, where we're going to use E as our base to both sides. So I'm going to put an E here and an E here. On this side, the E and the natural log are going to cancel each other, and we're just left with 2x. On the right-hand side, we're going to evaluate e to the third. So we're going to type in our calculator the e, which you'll find as the second on the natural log button. And we get 20.0855. And we're going to divide both sides by 2. We get x equals 10.043. All right, let's try another one very similar to this one. Let's do example number 3. On example number 3, again, I just want you to solve. Here's our original problem. We have the natural log of x minus 3 over 2 equals 2. So again, we have this natural log term already by itself. So we're going to make e as the base to both sides. On this side, the e and the natural log will cancel. We're left with x minus 3 over 2 equals. On the right-hand side, again, you're going to grab your calculator and type in e to the second, which gives us 7.389. Now we just have to solve. First, we're going to clear the fraction, or times both sides by 2. On this side, the 2's cancel, so I have x minus 3. On the right-hand side, 7.389 times 2 is 14.778. Then, of course, we're going to add 3 to both sides. We find out that x equals 17.778. All right, let's try one more from this section, because we haven't talked about how to get something by itself yet. So example number 4. Let's say we solve. And we're going to solve, let's go with 2 natural log of 3x equals 1. So one option is to take this 2 to the exponent of your whole 3x. The better option, however, is to isolate this natural log of 3x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. We have the natural log of 3x equals 1/2 or 0.5. Now that this term is by itself, we can go ahead and make e the base to both sides. On the left-hand side, the e and the natural log will cancel, so I have 3x. On the right-hand side, you're going to type in your calculator e to the 0.5, and you get 1.6487. Dividing both sides by 3 to solve for x, we get x equals 0.5496. Now, if you want to truncate, you just call it 0.549, or if you round, this would become 0.55. 0 technically. All right, do we have any questions so far? Let's move on to our next section. Next thing I want to talk about is solving equation with E. All right, so first step, just like always, you need to get the E term by itself. Step 2, place natural log in front of both sides. Step 3, move the exponent to the coefficient Step 4, evaluate the right. And then step 5, solve for x. All right, so this is going to be what you are doing for the problems 30 through 36. So here is example number 5 today. Here, I'll even give you a little reminder. We've got this is 30 through 36 if you're referring back to it. If I have e to the x, sorry, I want you to solve. All right, if I have e to the x plus 4 equals 18, I need to get this e to the x term by itself. So I'm going to start by subtracting 4 from both sides. So I have e to the x equals 14. Now, because I have the e to the x by itself, I'm going to write natural log in front of both sides. So I have the natural log of e to the x equals the natural log of 14. On this side, we get to take this x, the exponent, out in front. So I have x, natural log e, equals the natural log of 14. On this side, the natural log of e is equal to 1. So I just have x. On the right-hand side, we have the natural log of 14, and we can plug that into our calculator, and we get 2.639. All right, so let's try another one, example number 6. Again, I'm going to ask that you solve. If I have e to the x plus 1 equals 8. I have e to the x plus 1 all by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and write a natural log in front of both sides. So the natural log of e to the x plus 1 equals the natural log of 8. On this side, this exponent gets to go out in front. So I have x plus 1, the natural log of e, equals the natural log of 8. The natural log of e, we've already discussed, is equal to 1. So on the left-hand side, I just have x plus 1. On the right-hand side, I get to grab my wonderful calculator and type in the natural log of 8, and I get 2.079. So then to solve for x, I subtract 1 from both sides. And we're left with x equals 1.079. I think you're going to find that solving either for natural log or solving for e, or with an e in the equation, are actually easier than the ones we were doing last week. All right, here's my last example for today. Example number 7. This will cover your last 42 through 50 even that we were talking about. The directions are going to ask you to simplify. It's going to ask you to use the properties in order to simplify. For example, if I have the natural log of e to the third divided by 3, this 3 gets to come out in front. So I have 3 natural log e divided by 3. And we already know that this natural log of e is equal to 1. So on top I have 3 times 1, which is 3, divided by 3. And so this equals 1. Let's say I just have the natural log of e to the 5th. Again, in this case, we know this exponent gets to move out in front. So I actually have 5 natural log e. And this natural log of e is equal to 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. All right, I hope there's no questions for today. If there is, feel free to email me, send it through Google Classroom or through my email. If there's any other questions, don't be afraid or don't hesitate to let me know. We are going to be continuing to work on this tomorrow as well. And if you have completed your other homework, please make sure you have turned it in to me, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great afternoon.